Hello, boys and girls. It's Miss Carter again. We are going to go ahead and get started on our math lesson. Our math lesson for today is SL1B. So today we're going to focus on counting and writing numbers. Now, just like yesterday, when we did our number stories, we are also on Tuesdays and Thursdays going to be working on spiral reviews. So spiral reviews are provided to help students practice and retain previously taught materials and skills. They are designed for teachers to use with students throughout the week. We will do our spiral reviews every Tuesday and Thursday. So this spiral review is a review of kindergarten standards to support students in upcoming lessons. So here is our first problem that we're going to work on. John has 6 toy cars. His friend Brian gave him 4 more cars. How many cars does John have now? Draw a picture and write an equation to solve the problem. So I want you to draw a picture to solve this word problem. Label your word problem with at least the beginning sounds. I'm going to read the word problem again. Are you ready? John has 6 toy cars. His friend Brian gave him 4 more cars. How many cars does John have now? Draw a picture and write an equation to solve the problem. Push pause until you are ready to answer this problem. I wanted to show you my thinking. So this is what my picture will look like. Let me read the problem one more time. John has 6 toy cars. His friend Brian gave him 4 more cars. How many cars does John have now? Draw a picture and write an equation to solve the problem. So instead of drawing cars, I did something easier. I drew circles. So I labeled my first set of circles with John's cars. Now, if you didn't know how to spell John, you could just put a J. But you can always look back in the story problem too. So let's count John's cars. Will you count with me to make sure that we have 6? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 6 circles represent John's 6 toy cars. The next part of our equation said his friend Brian gave him 4 more cars. If you get more of something, the number of things that you have gets bigger. If I give you more cake, you have another slice of cake. So it says Brian gave him 4 more cars. So instead of drawing cars, I drew circles. Here are my 4 circles. Help me count. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I labeled them Brian's cars because that's what he gave to John. If you didn't know how to spell Brian, what could you put? That's right. You could have just put a B for Brian. So these 6 circles represent John's cars. These 4 circles represent the cars that Brian gave to John. How many cars does John have now? Well, let's count and find out. Please count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many cars does John have now? That's right. John has 10 cars. I added 6 plus 4, and when I counted that all together, that equals 10. Down here in the bottom of the screen, you can see my equation. Let's read the equation together. 6 plus 4 equals 10. And the sentence says, John has 10 cars. Nice job. Here is another word problem that we're going to work on together. Jamal went to the market and bought 7 apples. He ate 4 of the apples. How many apples does Jamal have now? Draw a picture and write an equation to solve the problem. So you're going to solve the problem by drawing a picture, and you're going to label the word problem with at least the beginning sounds. But before we go any further, who knows what a market is? Turn and talk to somebody close to you and tell them what you think a market is. Let's see who got it right. A market is kind of like a grocery store. Sometimes markets can be smaller than like Walmart when we go to that grocery store. So let me read the problem one more time. Follow along with me. Jamal went to the market and bought 7 apples. He ate 4 of the apples. How many apples does Jamal have now? Draw a picture and write an equation to solve the problem. Don't forget to label your problem with at least the beginning sounds. Push pause until you're ready to go over this problem. I'm going to show you my thinking. I'm going to read the problem one more time. Jamal went to the market and bought 7 apples. He ate 4 of the apples. How many apples does Jamal have now? Draw a picture and write an equation to solve the problem. So let's think. When Jamal went to the market, what did he do? Did I hear you say that he bought 7 apples? Well, I'm going to represent apples with circles. Let's see if I drew 7. Help me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's right. He bought 7 apples. But what happened next? That's right. He ate 4 apples. And I bet he had a bellyache. So when you eat something, do you get more or do you have less? That's right. You have less. So I'm going to put an X over those 4. Let's see if I have 4 apples X'd out. Help me count. 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 X's represent the 4 apples that Jamal ate. If you eat something, it's gone. So now the question is, how many apples does Jamal have now? Well, let's see how many apples he has left. Will you help me count, please? 1, 2, 3. That's right. Jamal has 3 apples now. Let's look at the equation that I wrote. 7 because that's how many I started with, minus. Why did we subtract? That's right. He ate the apples and they went away. He ate 4, so we subtracted 4. How many did we have left? That's right. We have 3 apples left. Read the equation with me. 7 minus 4 equals 3. Jamal has 3 apples now. Nice job. There are 4 equations on the screen. Now, this is tricky. I want you to pay close attention to where the equal sign is. Where is the equal sign? It's at the beginning. We're used to seeing the equal sign at the end, so this is being tricky. I want you to take a few minutes to solve these problems on a piece of paper. Push pause until you're ready. I want to show you my thinking. I used my counters. So the first equation says 5 equals 3 plus blank. So I took my 3 counters that I knew I had because it says 3 plus blank. And then I used the strategy of counting on until I got to this number, 5. So watch my thinking. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to count on until I get to 5. 4, 5. How many more counters did I have to add? That's right. I added 2 counters because 5 equals 3 plus 2. Please say the equation with me. 5 equals 3 plus 2. Nice job. Let's look at the second equation. Read it with me, and when you get to the blank, say blank. Here we go. 7 equals 4 plus blank. So I know I have 4, and I need to get to 7. I need to find out what goes in the middle. So I'm going to start with my 4 counters because I know I have 4. And I'm going to count on until I get to 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. How many more counters did I need to add to 4 to get to 7? That's right. I needed to add 3 more counters. Read the equation with me. 7 equals 4 plus 3. Nice job. Let's look at the third equation. Read the equation with the blank. Are you ready? 8 equals 5 plus blank. I know I have 5, and I know I have 8 at the end, but how many do I need to put with 5 to get to 8? I'm going to count on. Watch me. 5, 6, 7, 8. How many more did I need to add to 5 to get to 8? That's right. I had to add 3 counters. Read the new equation with me. 8 equals 5 plus 3. Last equation we're going to do on this slide. Read the old equation with the blank. Are you ready? 9 equals 6 plus blank. Now I know that I have 6. It tells me right here on the equation. and I know I'm going to add something to it, and I know at the end I'm going to have 9. So what do I need to add to 6 to get to 9? I'm going to use the count on strategy. 6, 7, 8, 9. I had to add 3 more counters to get to 9. Let's read the new equation now. 9 equals 6 plus 3. Good job, friends. So now we're ready to start our lesson. Remember, I told you we were going to be practicing reading and writing numbers. This is the standard that we're going to be working on today. This is for your parents and for any grown-ups around you. But your clear learning target is listed at the bottom. We're going to read each target. I'm going to read each target, and then we're going to read it together. I'm going to read the first one. I can count to 100. Ready? I can count to 100. Your second clear learning target for this lesson is I can write numbers to 20. Say it with me. I can write numbers to 20. Nice job. Let's get started. So for your first launch, in kindergarten, you learned how to count to 100. You practiced that every day in calendar math. And you also practiced writing your numbers to 20. So today, you are going to show me how you can count and write numbers. Look in the box. How many cubes do you think are in the box? Let's make some predictions. Remember, a prediction is a guess. I didn't give you much time to count because I wanted you to practice making a prediction. Now it's time to count the cubes that are in the box. Count with me, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Nice job. Can you find 20 on our chart? There are different strategies that you can use to count. You could count by ones. You can count by tens. Some of you might have just knew how many were in the box. Tell someone near you the strategy that you used to count the cubes. No matter how we count, we get the same number. But sometimes when you're counting a lot of objects and you're counting by ones, it's so easy to get distracted. And sometimes when you get distracted, you can lose count. Then it takes you even longer to count because you have to start all over. But if I can make groups of tens, then I don't have to start all over again. Launch number 2. What number would come next? Ready? Say the numbers with me. 66, 67, blank. How do you know what number comes next? Turn and talk to somebody close to you. Remember, try using the vocabulary before, after, and between. What number is missing? Say the numbers with me. 32 blank 34. How do you know what number is missing? Try using the vocabulary before, after, and between. Turn and talk to someone close to you. Read the sequence of numbers with me. Blank 48 49. What number is missing? How do you know? Turn and talk with somebody close to you. Try using the vocabulary before, after, and between. It is time for your independent work. You have 2 pages today of independent practice. On the first page, right here, it says, I can write to 20. So you've got a number grid with some of the numbers filled in. You have to fill in the rest. It starts with the number 0 here. What number is going to go in this blank? That's right. The number 1 is going to go here. And you're going to write your numbers all the way until you get to the last empty blank. And I'm going to give you a hint. That's the number 20. On the bottom of this page, you are going to count the objects and write the number that matches the number of objects. And you're going to put it in this empty square right here. On the next page, it says, I can count to 20. And do you see this long line at the top of your page? Do you remember what that's called? I heard someone say it. That's called a number line. You can use your number line to help you fill in the blanks. Make sure that this goes back in your folder and it's ready to be turned in to your teacher whenever you see her next. After you're done with your independent work, you need to go ahead and get on to iReady and complete the math assignment. Now, if for some reason iReady is not working, don't panic because we're still in the very first week of school and sometimes things work out really well and sometimes they don't. So if you can't get on to iReady, do not panic. Send your teacher a message and just let her know and we'll fix it as soon as we can. Guys, I am so incredibly proud of your work today. Keep working hard and I will see you tomorrow. You rock. I am so proud of you. Bye, guys.